And that's when he said, there's a lot more gooch at this gay pride parade than I'd imagined. Classic Brighton. Oh, and we're live.
You are now listening to Radio Rufus.
Yes, you deciduous dingleberries. Welcome back to another delicious episode of Radio Rufus. That's right, we have brewed. We are like two blokes brewing a craft beer in a shed in Leicestershire, allowing the cream of the crop to rise to the top. We're threshing, we're mixing, we're yeasting to bring you an almost undrinkable podcast.
Beautiful.
Every week, we bring you the best from around the world. It's a classic radio show with a twist. It's with a little titty twist on the radio show. Oops. We bring you games, news, sports, everything from around the world, though some of the scoops might be slightly smellier than you'd imagined because they originated all the way back in the 1960s. We're era appropriate. We're throwing it back to the heyday of good times, smoking indoors, cheating on your wife, and some other stuff. But nonetheless, every week we do that. And we also sometimes welcome a very special guest. Now we're incorporating... we're an inclusivity and diversity podcast, of course. That's why we have Aidan, who is Irish, and we're bumping up that quota today with a man who is at least an 8th Italian. Welcome, ItalianBach, onto the show.
Thank you.
You are an 8th quarter?
I'm a quarter.
Quarter.
Yeah.
So more than we thought.
Yeah,
That's
there
really,
you go.
Really good.
More
Thanks for coming on. Batch, you are genuinely a man who I've witnessed eat over 100 pairs in one sitting.
Okay.
How many pairs did you eat that day?
None.
It was like 1,000.
1,000 pairs.
I think you had 1,000 pairs.
What are we talking about right now?
Remember the one time I met you before?
Yeah.
I think you had at least 100 pairs while I was sitting there.
100 pairs.
He's saying pairs, not
Pairs.
pears.
Pairs.
I thought
yes,
we thought the
I had
same
it
when
there.
it-
I thought he was saying pairs the
So
whole
did
time.
I.
I was like, what the?
That's too many pairs.
Yeah,
That's
what happened?
Way too many pairs.
Yeah.
Pairs,
No,
pairs.
yeah. I had, I think I had over 100 pairs because I slammed down, each packet has about 10, 12. I slammed down about close to 20 packets.
You know when they like do an autopsy on someone and it's like they have 60 pills in
Yeah.
You were just full of pairs.
Full of pairs, and I was
Yeah.
pinging as well.
What's the most amount of pears you've had?
Yeah, good
Pairs,
question. What a great question.
probably two. Probably
Two
pairs
more than
and a
I've
pair.
ever had.
Yeah. A pair of pairs, literally a pair of
pairs,
pairs. Yeah.
A connoisseur of the 6-action punchline, of course. It says here a heartthrob, a visionary, which I do write this, but I don't remember writing that.
Well, that's brilliant. That's actually bang on the head.
Yeah,
So, well done.
Obviously, you're known for your army of rabid female fans.
Sure.
I actually mentioned you to a girl in Liverpool when I was doing an event there, and here are the quotes. Now, people from Liverpool aren't necessarily known for their decorum,
Okay, yeah.
but she said right there in public, splash zone, quote, clean up in aisle 3.
Wow. Okay.
Bosh. So that's good.
Yeah. How did I come up in conversation there?
I don't know. She was like, what are you doing this week? And I said, I'm filming a podcast with ItalianBach.
I
And
see.
she goes, splash zone,
Okay.
clean up in aisle 3.
That's a wild thing to just come out with. Splash zone.
Splash zone,
It
straight away.
sounds so
Splash zone.
American to be coming out of
Yeah.
a Scouse woman's mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it made me think of Total Wipeout.
Yeah.
That's just playing in your head.
Yeah. Mate, I would like to see a lot of people go across the big balls. I think they should have it in the Olympics.
I really thought that I could do that with ease. Watching that.
I think the gaps are
Yeah.
bigger.
Do you think?
They're a lot bigger than you remember as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still feel like I could do it. I feel
What
like
about Ninja Warrior? How do you think?
Oh yeah.
about
To be honest, I'm kind of deluded. I think I could do it all.
Mm.
Even Takeshi Castle, I think I get straight through.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though famously no one ever won that game because
Yeah,
it was a
I
money
think-
laundering scam for a Japanese business.
I think I'd still do it.
Do you know, like, they made hundreds and hundreds of episodes of that, and there were like 6 people who won.
Really? Because I never.
And no
really,
one ever heard of them again.
I never really thought about it. What, they just killed?
Who knows?
Could be.
But basically, apparently, genuinely, that is like money laundering for the Yakuza.
Oh wow.
Fuck me.
I never really thought about
So
that.
to put someone's place all the money, they just like, let's make a game show, and they basically made it impossible. Like everyone on that show just gets battered.
But they brought it back recently, didn't they?
Do they?
Yeah, they brought it back with an English host. I can't remember who, it was quite a well-known guy.
That ruins it for me.
It's just not the same.
Yeah.
I wonder what scheme was like money laundering that time. Was it still the Yakuza, or if it was an English host?
Yeah. Well, he could be the front. Still the
That's true.
Yakuza.
Yeah, still
the back.
Yeah, they're always in the back.
We looked you up on Wikipedia.
Did you?
We do this.
I'm not on Wikipedia.
We do this for all our guests. Well, we looked you up on the internet. I have to say, the picture we found, you do look a bit different in.
And
I just want to show that to the camera. This is the Isaac Smith, which I believe is your real name.
And that's
you.
That's a boat.
Yeah. I didn't know your full name was the USS Isaac Smith.
But okay, I didn't even know that existed.
Apparently, you're a bit older than I thought, actually. You were used by the Union Navy to patrol navigable waterways of the Confederate States of America.
That sounds about right, yeah. Yeah.
So tell me about 1863.
Oh, God. Where do I
What
even
year?
start?
What
Where do I
year?
even
What
start? It was wet. I'd say
was-
that much.
It was wet. You are a boat.
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
a boat, yeah. That sounds like a big insult.
Well, you're a boat.
You're a boat, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't really know how it could be.
Well, you were the only. The only warship in the American Civil War to be captured by enemy land forces. So congratulations.
This is actually quite interesting because I didn't know any of this.
Warship sounds a lot cooler than boat. I'd want to be strictly
warship
known
does
as a
sound lot
warship.
cooler.
I feel like the warships have improved since 1863 because that looks like a Croatia party boat. You know when you see those,
Yeah, it
you know
does.
when you see those adverts.
Yeah, it really does.
It would just be full of drunk Australians
Like a
these days.
Malia booze cruise.
It
type
does
setup.
look
Yeah.
Malia Booze Cruise. There's like one really annoying Hindu.
just really loud.
Mate, I went on one with some Americans who came to Portugal for spring break. And I knew one of them, and I went there with them. And they were like, there was a stag do on there for like 50 lads. Like
50.
50
Who the
lads.
fuck knows that many
50
people?
on a stag do.
Well, Liverpool, I assume they were just one big family. And they were like, those girls there were actually horrified because like basically like Amy Winehouse on the speakers, everyone cracks open a tinny, guy takes his shirt and his trousers off and like spinning in the middle of the dance floor and everyone's like pouring beers on it, and they're like, we don't do this.
It's a culture shock for them.
3 couples ended up breaking up on that trip.
Really?
I can't say it was directly because of that, but
On the trip or on the boat? On the trip.
on the trip,
Do you think the boat sent them spiraling?
I think it certainly opened their eyes to the world.
Were you at fault for any of the breakups?
Mm.
Did you have a part to play?
No,
I feel like with 3 happening and you being there, it has to have something
well, it
to do
happened.
with it.
It all happened. It all kicked off at this dinner, right? So we sat down for dinner, and suddenly it just goes absolutely haywire. Because Americans don't really drink like we do, so they've been to a wine tasting and they came back and they were absolutely hammered, which I don't even know how it's
Interesting.
possible.
Okay, yeah.
Drinking 20 millilitres of wine at a time, and suddenly my mate's girlfriend is crying in the bathroom, the other one having a tiff behind there, she's upset, and then that sets that other guy off, and then he's having an argument with his mate, and we were in Portugal, lovely place, Porto, and I was having the best meal of all time. So I was the only one who actually ordered because everyone else was so angry, and I sat there and had genuinely one of the best meals of my life while everyone was so miserable.
Maybe you relish in misery. Maybe.
You definitely do.
Maybe you were feeding off it a little bit as well.
Schadenfreude, I believe is the
yeah.
term. I love a bit of Schadenfreude.
I keep
beautiful
hearing
term.
that lately. I keep
Yeah.
hearing that word.
Did you see the footage at the weekend of the Chelsea match where all the players were having like a scrap and your fella Cole Palmer just like sat on the floor beside it?
That's not shot. That's autism. That's not shot.
It is autism, but it reminds me of you just sat ordering your meal with all the chaos.
I don't
going on
appreciate.
behind
I
you.
don't appreciate that.
The comparison to Cole Palmer, the thickest man in football.
Was there anyone sat with you? You just literally eating by yourself?
So there was one other. Everyone was in a couple, apart from this one single guy on the trip. So me and him, we had a bunk bed in the house.
Wow.
We basically just became a couple.
Were you top bunk or bottom? Or just both on the same
I'm
one?
the top bunk warrior
Okay, yeah, good.
because if I'm on the top bunk, I can't get pissed on. Is my
Yeah, it's a good thought, actually.
But although your years in uni with a top bunk where you couldn't really get up too much, did that not put you off?
I didn't have a top bunk.
You told us before. You
So I got scammed in second year.
Yeah.
And they gave me the bunk bed room.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Right.
Which basically was a top bunk with a desk underneath it. I dismantled it, put all the wood in the garden, and just bought a new bed.
Nice one.
I used to have one of those. They're quite cool, but I was a child when I had it.
It's not great at uni, and you're
Yeah.
looking to pull, and it has about that much clearance.
You come
on the- honestly, if I woke up with a stiffy, it'd be scraping the ceiling. Like it was very little.
But then you could get straight back down to work the next morning, just down the ladder, and you're there at your desk.
yeah. Every morning, the alarm goes off. You wake up, and you smack your head on the ceiling, pick it up like that. It wasn't an ideal situation, but yeah, I would always be top bed, and if you're bottom bed sometimes, and you're Mormon,
Yeah.
then it's your responsibility to generate the movement when they're soaking.
Right. Oh, because they aren't allowed.
You're looking at me with a lot of confusion, Aidan. Okay, so Mormons,
Yes.
no premarital sex.
Oh, right, yeah, okay,
but
okay.
they blur the boundaries. So some of them derf.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Derfing is what the rest of us in the civilized world call dry humping.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Like
grinding.
do you remember in legendary scene in Bad Teacher where Justin Timberlake derfs
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's derfing.
Yeah.
There's a little wet patch on his
Yeah, I remember it.
payoff. Yeah. So
That's
he's
the payoff.
he's derfing. That's derfing. And then soaking is like the next level. It's like if I put it in but I don't move, it doesn't count. Which I don't know how
Really?
you arrive at that logic.
So they all have terms as well for it. Is that a Mormon term?
Soaking.
Derfing.
Must be,
Derfing,
yeah.
Derfing and soaking.
Yeah, derfing and soaking.
Genuine Mormon term.
Yeah.
But they blur the
Derf
lines
hard,
in the
soak
strangest
hard.
possible way because they'll be like, oh, we're not having vaginal sex, but they'll just go and have anal because they think like, oh, it doesn't count.
What, is that allowed?
That's a line where some other people draw, but I don't know how you arrive at that conclusion.
No
Yeah.
one draws a line at anal. No one. Right?
What? What do you mean?
Anyway.
You said that. You said that.
Anyway,
in a
so
weird tone.
soaking is they'll go in and then the
They'll go in, but
guy on the
they'll-
bottom bunk is shaking.
they'll just
them.
let it rest. But apparently, it's not haram if you're not generating the movement.
Okay.
So, like, if you're thrusting, that's not okay, and Joseph Smith is going to be angry at you. A relative
Yeah.
of yours, maybe the founder of Mormonism, Joseph Smith.
Great uncle or
yes,
something.
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
He also came up with W.H. Smiths as well.
Class.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he also a warship at one stage?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he came
Family
after
of
me.
them.
He actually came after me.
So what they do is they basically go in on the top bunk,
Yeah.
and the guy on the bottom bunk, you got to put your feet up between the slats of the bunk bed and just push.
Just like that. Just like that.
Yeah. So that's why I don't want to be on the bottom bunk. Short answer.
And how would you? How do you know all this?
I
Research or?
boarding school.
Oh, so you derfed at boarding school.
At your
soaking
all-male
going
boarding
on.
school?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't an all-male boarding school. It was an all-male boarding house.
Right.
There was a bit of derfing. Not from yours truly, but there was
There was a,
some people went to Derf City a couple of times.
did you help them out at any point?
Return ticket. No. But basically we had these two like big West Indian guys next room, and you
Yeah.
could hear the derf
Oh, you could hear the derf.
often.
Will you ever derf again, do you reckon?
Would I ever derf again?
Mm.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Like,
Bit of surfing.
I'm not
derf.
sure I've derfed ever.
Ever.
I think I skip over derfing.
Okay. You just hop, skip, and a jump over it.
Yeah.
Over a derf.
Triple jump.
You
Yeah.
triple jump the derf.
Triple jump the derf. That's all the foreplay. I'm just jumping over.
You just no foreplay straight to it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into our first segment now. It's not news. This is what hit the headlines this week. Our top story: a live streamer has crashed a car mid-stream and continues his stream despite his best friend bleeding to death in the front seat. This is the first line of... So this happened to this streamer called Jack Doherty, who I had not heard of before. This is the first line of his Wikipedia. How mental is this? Jack Doherty, born October 8th, 2003. So he's
My
younger than
God.
all of us, which is upsetting.
Yeah.
Is an American streamer who performs stunts and pranks, some of which are illegal. That's the first line of his Wikipedia.
Just some of which.
Yeah. So last week he crashed a $300,000 McLaren, live streaming on Kick and driving with one hand whilst reading his live chat and speeding in torrential rain. And then he lost control of the car. So it skidded all the way across a highway and smashed into a barrier, which basically ripped off the front half. The main man, fortunately, he's good, managed to escape.
Okay.
But his cameraman, Michael, basically was lying in the front seat like this, blood streaming down his face. And he had to be rushed to hospital. But before that happened, the guy handed him the phone and was like, make sure you're filming this.
You're joking.
So he's lying there, blood going down his face. And he's like, mate, make sure you get this. Make sure you get this angle.
Did he actually survive? Did he actually die?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
die.
He was okay.
And he's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not dead.
Whenever I first saw the article, I assumed, like, I would have put all my money that it was an Irish fella with the name Jack Doherty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the most Irish sounding
Yeah,
name
it
for
is.
the least Irish acting person
You
of
know,
all time.
he's one of that brand of Americans that says they're Irish, but
Yeah.
their parents,
Yeah, they'll
their
say
ancestors
Irish.
haven't been Irish since the 1800s.
Yeah.
Yeah, about as much as you're Italian, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they'll say Irish American. They'll put it first. They'll say Irish.
You know what's
American.
funny about Americans is they call all black people African Americans,
Yeah, that's
Really?
true.
even if they're not American.
What? Even if they're no American and they just
like
do that?
someone from Nigeria, they say that's an African American.
Yeah. Or someone from Croydon, same difference.
Yeah. Like I think they say Stormzy as an African American. They
Oh
would.
my God.
So strange.
There's also this legendary picture. He put up a shirtless Instagram pic of him with the car, If you can see,
Even the car's ridiculous.
mate.
The car looks awful.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
it looks better in this condition than it did new.
Yeah.
Why is he topless?
Yeah, exactly.
The only person he's with, by the way, is the friend that was injured in the car crash. So even
That's
with
it.
his blood pissing down his face,
he's
he still
taking-
asked him to take
He's
a photo.
asked him to take an
He's taking
Instagram
the photo.
And this is not the only one, by the way. It's like as a slideshow.
Carousel.
So,
Oh
yeah,
my god, he's
there's
got a
there's
carousel. He's got a
three
photo
three
dump
pictures.
of this.
Yeah.
Topless in every single one.
Yeah.
Have any of you lads ever seen the film Nightcrawler with Jake
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal?
No.
Yeah.
This reminds me of that.
Yeah,
so
it
much.
does feel like that.
Basically,
Oh
this
Fill
fella.
me in.
So it's like based in LA, and this like journalist, cameraman type character, he's trying to sell articles and photos to like big newspapers. So he gets one of those like radio things where you can track police calls, so he can beat them to the scene. But he'll like see a body, but it won't be a good shot, so he'll like drag the body out,
Yeah.
position it with better lighting to take a photo of it.
That reminds me of taking knob pics in first year.
Taking what?
Knob pics?
Knob pics.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to explain that one.
Get the Polaroid out.
Position it.
Angle, lighting.
3-point lighting.
3-point light. Yeah.
You know the
Give
rule.
it a halo. Oh my god.
You gotta frame it up nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a legendary pick. It has resulted in a ban from Kick, from live.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
Incredibly.
actually surprised.
Yeah. Although, in my opinion, it's not that big of a loss on either front, as like he seems like a bit of a knob, and that car is gopping.
It is.
That is
yeah.
such an ugly car. It's
Terrible. A McLaren.
It looks
as well.
like when you mix up all the Play-Doh
Yeah, and
and
just
you,
get
you
that.
just you can't get it back.
Yeah.
You can't separate it back into
Yeah,
the
that's a great
there's no
analogy.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something for sure.
This guy is also his bodyguard beat someone up at Corinna Kopf's Halloween
I
party.
saw that.
Yeah, I
actually
saw that too.
Yeah.
And then he also flipped a golf cart with his girlfriend in it and put that footage on YouTube.
I think he just does everything.
Yeah.
That explains his Wikipedia actually.
Yeah.
He also does OnlyFans, which
Really?
would explain
Yeah, that's
the
where all
topless
the money
photo.
comes from as well.
Yeah.
Which
He does.
crazy.
But okay, look, I don't know. This guy, like, he looks like a 15-year-old boy.
He does,
So who's
which is quite predatory for the people subscribing.
Yeah.
is it Shaft and
I have no idea. I didn't personally.
I don't know.
subscribe.
I would just assume that.
Yeah.
I would just say you're gonna have to find out.
Yeah.
But you don't need to pay $10 a month to see like a hairless, topless white boy. You just go onto your Instagram.
I could see you fitting.
You could see me doing that.
Yeah. Into that.
To be
yeah,
fair,
you look great.
yeah.
If you were to start an OnlyFans tomorrow, what percentage do you think would be male followers compared to female?
You do well amongst the gays.
yeah, I'd say I'd have a lot of people think I'm gay as well.
Really?
So
I get that.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I'd say maybe 10%. I'd say 10% guys. Maybe.
Yeah.
You reckon? Or is that a little too high?
10, as in 90% women?
Actually, I think
I think
more
maybe-
men.
I think
Do you
it would be more men,
It
yeah.
might be 55-45 if we're going to be adventurous.
Do you
might
ever
be-
get like really disturbing messages from gay men?
I do.
You were
I
talking about one
used
of them a
to.
while ago.
Really?
One of my biggest mistakes was when I asked people to write into the show
Yeah.
about their worst injury, and I got
really?
so many pictures of various body parts
Injured?
in horrible
Or
positions.
just-
couple of banjo strings, guys. Like,
Oh, no.
yeah. So if you're one of the people who did send that in, thanks, but no thanks.
That is mental.
I don't like, I consider that. I consider that a good thing because at least they're engaged.
They're listening. Yeah, that's true. You got an engaged audience.
Yeah, and it's like, nice dick, player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's proper engagement as well, because they're not just saying them,
care.
they're
They
showing you their ripped
So if
banjo.
you are one of the people who send them in, I'd read the messages. I've seen those. They might be on my camera roll.
That is vile.
Right, let's move on to our next story then. And delivery brand Just Eat has hooked up with sex toy brand Love Honey for home deliveries.
You're joking.
So, have you ever been in a situation where you need a dildo so badly, you enlist the services of an ethnic minority to cycle it to your house, say they can't find your front door, and then hand it to you in a wet paper bag?
Oh my, that is just how it would be as well.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
would be
that's exactly
sopping
what
wet.
happened, yeah.
Oh,
You know, whenever you're
You know,
ordering food,
delivery in the rain is the most upsetting thing. And they hand you that bag and it's
Soaked
like,
through.
the corners are almost coming off.
yeah, it's terrible.
you know, whenever you're ordering for a couple of people, and at the end of the order, you'll be like, "Does anyone want anyone else?" And someone will throw in like a bag of chips or a side.
Yeah.
Imagine someone's like, "Oh, you threw me in a dildo."
Yeah,
yeah.
chuck
It's
a
so
popcorn
strange
in
being
there.
able to do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes like they want something that doesn't really fit with what you've ordered.
Yeah,
So it's like, I bought this industrial grade butt plug set.
yeah.
it looks weird because you bought the gag.
Yeah. Yeah, you bought the dildo, but I want to KFC.
Yeah.
But you can't
That's
mix
wild.
and match because you ever be on like
You can
Uber
mix
Eats
and match.
and you order a McDonald's and
Yeah,
like, do you want anything in co-op?
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
getting like a Happy Meal and a fucking butt plug.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
order.
Well, there's nothing better than that.
That might be the worst most suspicious combination.
Yeah, that really-
butt plug.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's very
god!
true.
Yeah. Do you reckon they'd investigate stuff like that, or just let it slide?
The one that gets me that I was aware of before was like screw fix.
Yeah, you can get screw fix.
You can get screw fix.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you can get like sort of
You could get zip ties,
sushi and a hammer.
sushi hammer, zip ties, butt plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a dodgy at all combination.
Does it all come in one bag?
I would say.
Sure.
so.
Yeah, I think it probably does. And it's the same guy hopping the stores.
You can order like a full murderer's kit
Yeah.
and a Big Mac.
That is
For after or
For
before?
after or before. Whatever.
What do you reckon?
Whatever you
Would
want.
you rather eat
I'd be
before murder?
hungry after killing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd eat first though.
But I saved myself a few nuggets or something for after as like a reward.
Okay, yeah. Save a little bit for it, but it would
Yeah.
get cold. Just do another order.
Um,
Is that effective now? Like you could do that now.
I think so, yeah.
yeah.
So we could just get one delivered right now.
If you want to get on that, I'll read out the context. Well, yeah, good news. Just Eat partnered with Love Honey. So basically, you can get vibrators and lingerie sent to your
Lingerie as well.
Yeah. The takeaway giant said it will deliver, quote, sexual well-being products and accessories from brands including Womanizer. Don't know what that is.
No.
You said that like you do know what that is.
No, not a clue. No, I don't know. I just don't know what that is.
We Vibe. I think we can all have a guess.
Yeah.
The new Nintendo Switch.
And 50 Shades of Grey. Like the book.
Are they?
Right.
Are they? Well, is that? I assume that's a company that sells stuff. But are they allowed to just call themselves that?
Well, is it merch? Does it tie in merch from the
Maybe.
films?
Could be.
Or did you literally get the book?
Just
That's a good
get the
question.
whole
We're
book.
going to have to put on a few orders after this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find out.
Because if it's just the book, they've been doing that for a while. You can order books online.
Yeah.
Um,
You ever get where you will order like a delivery and it doesn't come, but it says it's delivered, and you just know some dodgy boss man is like in a hedge around the corner eating it?
Yeah.
It's a lot more suspicious if you order a dildo and it doesn't show up.
yeah.
Well, that's
right.
just gone straight on the bike seat. He's keeping it there for the whole
He's
shit.
kept it warm the whole ride. Yeah.
You can put in options for like complaints for food whenever it's like, too cold. I wonder what it would
maybe
be
they
for.
have, yeah,
Oh
maybe
my
they have
God.
options like extra
Yeah.
hot,
Yeah.
medium,
Yeah, you
Why
want
was my
them to
dildo
order.
wet when it arrived?
okay. extra spit. So the products will be delivered inside sealed, unbranded paper bags and receipts on the inside, so it's totally discreet.
Okay.
But then the delivery drivers will see this, or sorry, the Just Eat drivers will see this.
The
and they'll
driver
know.
knows.
Yeah.
He's just gone to Ann Summers.
I mean, he's
mate.
got to get it. Yeah, he's got to get it.
I
They
think
don't do food.
there needs to be more of a vetting process for the people that get hired to do specifically like Just Eat, because at the minute anyone can sign up and go for a cycle and deliver food.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be delivering dildos and stuff,
yeah.
You actually can do it as a 16-year-old, can't you? Because
think
occasionally
so.
you do get just a
Really?
boy shows up to your
Yeah.
house.
The dildos have to be off limit for them then.
I would have thought so.
yeah, we'll keep them away from them for now.
Keep them away from the dildos.
Yeah.
Just in
Because like
case.
you're so stealing it if you're a 16-year-old kid as well.
Yeah. You need
If
to
you're a
earn the
16-year-old
dildo.
kid, if you're a 16-year-old kid
Yeah.
picking up an order from Ann Summers, there's no way you're not opening that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's also hilarious at 16.
Yeah.
Just seeing a dildo.
Yeah, just seeing a
Yeah,
dildo.
see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
not,
that's-
not using it.
So basically, the reason they've done this is because their bitter corporate rivals Deliveroo
yeah.
linked up with Ann Summers earlier this year. Big collab, guys.
Oh, okay.
To deliver its products to people's homes, quote, in minutes. Which, like, once again, there's no need for that sort of.
In minutes is nuts.
Just Eat, also, like, if you're not there, they won't leave it for you on your doorstep
Oh, they'll take it back,
for some reason.
but they'll leave the food.
Maybe it's because if any of you's ever had where you order food and some fucker will take it from your door if you don't get it immediately.
No,
I've not
we-
had that, but
We don't live in the ghetto in Belfast where you live.
Yeah, it's a fair.
That is exactly where it is.
yeah, happened there.
it happened there. Yeah.
Yeah, but if someone took a fucking dildo, you'd be a bit more fuming.
I wonder if they'd bring it back though. That would make them want to
I
bring
wouldn't-
it back.
I wouldn't.
'Cause they'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to know what's going on here." Especially if they don't know about the whole they're doing a collab right now thing.
Yeah, because it would just look like
excited.
someone's randomly dropped a dildo. At your
Yeah,
door.
I just
exactly.
don't think there is a market for this, guys. I can't imagine. I can't imagine myself in a situation where I never need any piece of equipment this quickly.
Yeah.
But what? Yeah, but let's say you're making a food order and you know just before you check out it says, "Oh, want to add something extra," and a cock ring comes up.
Yeah,
I could see you throwing that in.
just as
so
a
that's
laugh.
a
Yeah.
good point, actually.
Yeah.
Just if it's there, it's £5. You're like,
Yeah, might as well.
Like a portion of onion rings alongside it.
Yeah, you
Stack them up.
onion rings and a cock ring.
Yeah.
Whilst you're getting rings.
All rings. Okay, let's move on to another penis-related issue.
Right.
In quite possibly the worst series of decisions made by an Austrian man since World War II, a bloke in Feldkirch near the border with Liechtenstein amputated his penis with a blunt axe after consuming a large dose of psilocybin mushrooms, storing its fragments in a jar with soil and dirty snow.
This is ridiculous.
I would
Yeah.
love
I have
to
a
know-
question. Can you call a penis amputation a beheading?
Nice.
That's
good.
that's better.
You had that written. You worked on that.
I wish that they titled that the actual article. That
Yeah.
would have been a lot better.
Just a penis beheading.
Penis beheading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should do that as a punishment because they haven't actually beheaded someone for a long time. I think 1973.
Would you say beheading though it has to be the tip? Because if you take the
if
whole
you do the whole
thing
thing,
off,
that's not a beheading.
Yeah, true.
a lot of
He
neck.
took the whole thing off.
that's a lot.
Well, the thing that gets me about this is there's fragments.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's not one clean.
That's what it said. Fragment. Well,
Yeah.
it was a blunt axe.
storing its fragments in a jar, which like a penis doesn't do fragments. It's way
No.
too soft for fragments.
Frozen.
Did he freeze his cock?
Yeah, so he put.
Can you freeze a
he put-
cock whilst
he
attached?
he put the fragments in a jar with soil and dirty snow, and yes, you can, because when I went skiing in China, my willy got a bit cold, and what happens is if you get too cold. By the way, skiing in northern China is basically Siberia. It's very cold. It's about -20, -25, and if your extremities are the things that start to go first, so you might get a bit of a blue nose. That's the early stages of frostbite,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that may or may not have begun to
on the
occur.
knob,
on just
So you had a blue penis.
on the tip.
Blue tip. You had a blue tip.
blue
was-
balls.
Yeah, you had.
Yeah, blue balls. Yeah.
So it's a real thing.
I did have that once. No, it is real.
They
like-
go blue.
Like
Yeah.
blue balls. Yeah, I had to run myself a sink of cold water and just dunk those in there.
Cold water.
Is the solution not historically to just go for a wank if you have blue balls?
I was in too much pain.
Ah,
He
really?
couldn't even think. He wasn't even thinking straight.
Yeah. I just did it, you know.
A little
Spontaneous.
just eat order would have sorted you right.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
There you go.
Pokey bum wank. What a sorted you out.
The old PBW. We bring it up almost. We bring up PBW almost every week now.
Last week was the first time I heard that acronym.
Really?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I've said it at least 4 times on this podcast, which means you don't. listen very much.
Rolls off the tongue too well.
Yeah.
PBW.
Anyway, let's go back to this
It
story.
sounds like the sandwich. Sorry.
It does. Sounds delicious.
A report details how the 37-year-old man consumed 4 or 5 dried magic mushrooms whilst alone at his holiday home. So he's doing well for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not a loser.
No, holiday home.
Yeah. Shortly after the mushroom effect took hold, the man cut his penis into 4 pieces with an axe, then panically ligated the stump with a cloth. So that's like basically
Tying it up.
yeah, tourniquet, the thing. He ligated the stump and stored the severed fragments in a jar. Confused and bleeding out, he went searching for help until a passerby found him and took him to a nearby village where an ambulance arrived 5 hours after this had happened.
5 hours.
Yeah. And he has no recollection of this. So he's woken up with no penis and he's gone,
Oh my god, and that's it for him.
Yeah.
He must have had quite some penis to be able to chop it into
That's
4
what I was
as well.
thinking. Yeah.
4 pieces.
where would you go? I'd probably go top down.
You're not going top down. You're not
Through the middle.
I'd probably go top down and then quarters that way.
That's a smart move, actually. Yeah.
So like
triangles, surely
front
into
left,
triangles.
Front left, back left.
Everything's better in triangles.
Or maybe you could do like, how do you chop a carrot? Do you do batons or
I
circles?
was thinking for the penis, I would literally just do 4 like that.
the question is, though,
The
surely.
tip is his own piece, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Keep that intact. You can't. Yeah.
But to
Right,
get
so-
4 solid pieces, you would need to do it whenever you're hard. Does it stay hard whenever it's
No, I bet that
amputated?
shrinks. Because it's all blood, isn't
I'm
it?
not
That's
a
what makes it.
scientist.
That's what makes it big.
This also reminds me of the cutting it into 4 pieces, the time your granny rationed your Mars bar to last you the week.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe she was in mushrooms.
We went over this. If you know her, that's so funny. She's like literally so not.
She's so not.
She's definitely not on mushrooms.
She'd be like the worst. Honestly, like, I know she doesn't watch this. Granny, if you're watching this, like, I wouldn't have you in the smoke circle. I'm sorry.
Oh, really? Really? You're going to say that to her?
She's very anti-drug, and I feel like she'd be. Every time I'm trying to chill out and have a hit, she'd be getting on my case.
She get her a case. Well,
Yeah. Doctors were mostly able to reattach the penis fragments after after disinfecting and debriding them. So what he's left with is he's got the whole tip and 2 centimeters of shaft.
That is brutal.
That's
not even an inch.
It.
Yeah, 2 centimeters. So just less than an inch.
I think if that happened to me, I would just commit to a full gender reassignment instead of just having a 1-inch cock.
He's got a whole tip though.
But he's got
What can you
this
do with
and then
that?
tip.
Yeah, he's got that much shaft.
But if the tip is the size that it was before, that's
Yeah.
going to look so odd.
Yeah. Especially like what kind of heat was he packing before?
It's gonna be
that?
like
Yeah.
it's gonna be like your head on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
With a blunt axe as well, that must have taken a long time.
Yeah, you'd think so.
He's also developed a complication
Oh,
called coronal hypospadias.
The fact that they have a term for that.
Yeah.
How has this happened before?
yeah.
So this is where the urethra opens further down the penis shaft than normal. So basically, he's having a waz out the middle.
Wait, but that needs a hole somewhere.
Yeah.
So in the middle, he's just got a hole.
It opens. Yeah.
It's like whenever you're filling
he's
up a
going-
water balloon and you hold your thumb under the top.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
goes fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He's basically rocking a sprinkler at this point.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So it's just ruined. I'll just get rid of the whole
It's
thing.
just ruined.
That's what I said.
Wouldn't
Just
even bother with it
fuck
anymore.
that. Give me a vagina.
Yeah, I'd take a vagina.
I'd be worried. Having a penis transplant worries me because, like, I'm.
What if they get the wrong color?
Yeah, I've got a BBC. Yeah. No, because sometimes they switch babies at birth.
Yeah.
What if they give
babies'
me
cocks.
What if they give me the wrong cock?
What if they give you the wrong cock?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Them switching it at.
Or at last minute, and then
Yeah,
you're just
yeah.
like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Did not
when
order
suddenly
this
I've,
one.
I've just got the wrong one.
Yeah, but to be fair, you probably shouldn't be worried about that. I don't think that's going to happen. unless you think something in the future might.
It's not something that torments my every waking moment, if I'm honest.
I think you're all right.
Yeah, maybe.
Would you be
now.
happy if it was just not your cock, but you gained an inch? Would you keep it? Or would you be looking to return?
I want to shoot higher than an inch if I'm going through this process.
You're going to go for it. Go
Might as
big or
well.
go home.
Might as well go hard or go home.
What's the max you would go before it's like that's just
That's a good question.
That's a nuisance.
Think about it. 12 inches is like a 30
That's too
centimeter
much.
ruler. That's
Yeah.
too much.
That's way too much.
If it can feed more than, if it's a pizza that can feed more than like one person,
if it's not a small.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think 7's pretty. 8, 9, 9's probably the cutoff.
Yeah.
9, too big.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad we can agree.
Yeah, I think. I'm glad we had this conversation.
This is the first reported case of psilocybin-induced self-amputation,
Oh,
otherwise known as Klingsor syndrome. So it's
Right.
got its own name. So
Yeah.
someone-
it's the first case, but
it's
it's
the
got
first
its own
case,
name.
but it's got a name. It's a rare condition, apparently.
Oh,
Do you reckon someone in the lab was like, I've just got just the name?
yeah. I've been waiting for this.
This was reported by the Open Journal of Urology, which that's rough if you go into publishing and that's what you end up doing.
Just pure penis.
Yeah, it's I always feel sad for the bum doctors
Bum doctors.
because nobody grows up wanting to be a bum. Even a lot of people want to be a doctor, but nobody wants to be a bum doctor.
But then how do you end up being a bum doctor?
Well, that's just
This is why I don't feel like...
there's an opening in that department, so to speak.
I feel like you could never fully trust a bum doctor because they're a bum doctor, though.
No, but they don't go into it wanting to be a bum doctor. That's just the job that's.
But what if they do?
It's like
Then you can't trust them.
it's male doctors that really want to be a gynecologist.
That's another thing. I don't
Yeah.
trust them.
Nah, not at
Not
all.
that I have to deal with them, but...
Yeah, like imagine knowing that your partner has to go and look at vaginas all day.
Yeah, but like they're not the ones you want to see. Like people
might be.
go in there with problems.
Yeah, true.
Like if anything, like a gay man is ideal for that.
But what if they're a straight older gentleman and they specifically want to be a gynecologist?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's untrustworthy behaviour.
I agree.
Yeah,
Problematic,
I'm
I would
just
almost
thinking
say.
about the last time I had to get my winky out in the hospital.
Hmm.
I'm just thinking about the age gap there now because that guy was.
When was
that
that?
guy was
Yeah.
old.
When
He looked
was
like
that?
Master Shifu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before in a solo episode, but my friend Niall, whenever we were like 13, 14, he found a lump in his testicle and he had his whole will written by break time that day. Like
You're
he
just by
was
break
sure.
time?
Yeah.
Because he was
He was so sure he was
That was
dying.
it,
I
yeah.
got his Xbox 360. I was happy.
Oh, that's
but
a great deal
You're
for
hoping
you.
for him to die.
he was talking about like the silver lining that he's gonna potentially get a nurse to touch his balls.
He
that
was
evening.
thinking that.
Yeah.
That
So
happened
was
to
like,
me. That happened to me when I softball practice at school, and I managed to ying it straight into my own nuts.
How?
Was a nurse.
Nurse Rupinder had a go on those.
How did you get the O's?
So I'm batting against a wall, and I just hit it perfect trigonometry to kind of angle it straight back in.
So they call you Pythagoras.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
The next day at school, though, whenever he was telling us about the whole, like, he went to the doctors, it ended up being his uncle that was on that night that was the one examining him.
So
he was
his uncle's a willy doctor.
You're
Yeah,
joking.
well, his uncle worked in that hospital he was at. I don't think they have specific doctors back in Ireland. It's just one person for everything.
Just one guy, just one guy in a room. What are the chances of that you
What
end
a
up with
fall off.
your uncle?
Mate, he was going to die a hero.
Yeah,
And
he's still living.
Right, let's move on to our final headline then. News from South Korea. A court has ruled that a South Korean man cannot be charged with drunk driving because he chugged an entire bottle of booze after getting pulled over,
That's genius.
ruining any chance of an accurate test. So this 60-year-old bloke was stopped by police in unpronounceable Korean town last month after being suspected of drunk driving.
Yeah.
However, he sent a bottle of soju, which is about 20% ABV. He's just sent it to the Shadow Realm in 39 seconds, apparently, before the police could test him. So obviously, when they tested him, he failed.
Yeah.
But he'd already drunk. They just watched him drink an entire bottle of soju, which would easily put you over the limit.
Is that genius?
It
Is
is.
it genius?
He has found the cheat code to getting away with drink
Do
driving.
you think that would work here? Do you think you would get away with that here?
I think if you tried it, the police officers just slap it out of your
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very respectful in Korea,
Mm.
Yeah.
and they actually follow the law. Like
Yeah, well, that guy.
How long did it take him to down the bottle?
39 seconds.
So they just sat there for 39 seconds.
Just
He was
letting
chugging
him
it.
do it.
I think they got procedures and stuff to do, so they pull him over. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit,
Right.
I'm gonna get got here," because
yeah,
he was
yeah.
driving erratically and like whatever. So he's like, whips it out, chops it. I guess they have video footage of him chopping it, which
Chopping
is
it
how they
down.
know how long it is exactly.
Yeah.
That's quite an impressive. A 60-year-old man. That's an impressive chop, actually.
Yeah.
It is.
What if he was actually sober before he did that? he would have been just fine on the breathalyzer, but he just did it.
It's how you know he's guilty.
Yeah.
It's like that time my uncle got pulled over for speeding, and his excuse to the policeman was like, "Oh, sorry, officer, I've got a Chinese. I don't want it to go cold." And
Well,
it
I
did
think that
work,
would
to be fair.
work. That would work. Where you,
Yeah.
yeah.
did it work?
Well, he didn't get any fines or anything, so I suppose it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a respect.
If I was the officer, I would have confiscated the Chinese.
Oh my god!
yeah,
Yeah, we're
He'd
gonna
be
have to take that
fuming
off.
as well.
you.
He'd rather
yeah.
have fine.
You would.
So they attempted to calculate his pre-chop BAC
Yeah.
using some sneaky formula which determines alcohol levels, accounting for the passage of time, gender, weight, whatever. Based on this, he was suspected of, before drinking it, being 4.2 times over the legal limit. Before
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Oh, so they could work
But
it
the
backwards.
court ruled that was evidence is not strong enough because it's just some formula. It's not really proof
Right.
Yeah.
to prosecute. So, quote, "We cannot definitively confirm that he was drunk while driving based on speculation."
That's some quick thinking in the moment to just be like.
No, but it's not quick thinking because he had it ready to go.
So he knew.
He's got that in his car.
Do you reckon he was just trying to test that theory? Like,
Yeah,
will
maybe.
this- will I get away unscathed if I do this?
Mm.
He's absolutely fine.
That
Yeah.
was his whole purpose, was just to test it.
Yeah. His marriage fell apart. 60 years of age. Not getting any younger. Might as well.
Just
One of my friends had an
Apparently he
idea.
backed through a drive-through.
ready.
Yeah.
He's sober then.
Yeah.
100%.
Has
To be able to do that.
Yeah.
One of my friends had an idea that I think is absolutely genius, but it was basically he couldn't get a lift home one night, and he literally only, you know, sometimes you go out, you expect to be there for a while, but you end up it be shit or whatever, and you want to go home early. He only had like 2 drinks in him, and he was really frustrated with the fact that he legally couldn't drive home, even though he was probably fine.
Yeah.
So his idea wasn't to like book a taxi; it was to create drunk driving instructors. So there's people like normal driving lessons, but you have to get like pissed with your instructor.
Do you get a
beforehand.
special drunk driving license?
Yeah.
That says this guy's good enough at driving drunk, he's allowed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So like you have to like down a bottle with your instructor before. You have to blow into a tube to prove that you're steaming before
Yeah, sure.
doing
Yeah.
the driving lesson. I think that's genius.
I don't think it will catch on.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It might in Ireland. The market for
Yeah,
it there.
to be fair, yeah.
There used to be this thing where I lived called like driver monkey or something. I don't know why it was called that. But basically, you would drive somewhere, you'd get pissed, you wouldn't want to drive home. So a bloke would just turn up and drive you and your car home.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was the monkey.
Right. I thought maybe he brought a monkey with him or
Yeah.
something.
No, it has nothing to do with monkeys, but it was called like
Driver monkey.
or something.
Yeah, it feels odd. That
Yeah.
it does feel weird.
There's no like Ubers or anything where I'm from. So there's this one fella called Jay.
Do you know he has to
One
give
guy.
give you an idea of where he's from? He has a pay-as-you-go TV.
Yeah, you have to put £1 in it and you get 4
You're
hours.
joking.
Yeah, for it to
That's a
work.
thing.
That's
It's
how
optional.
that's how backwards his.
It is
his
optional.
town.
My parents just like, you know what?
Yeah, it's
we'll use
optional. You
this.
can pay or you don't.
But you basically save up everything and then with the company you can buy like a dishwasher with that money.
What?
It's pretty smart, I think.
Yeah, which is why we all have them. They're so.
Yeah, but you don't
Pretty
fucking
caught
need
on.
one. If your dishwasher breaks down, you can have a new one the day after.
Yeah.
But it's for working class families that might need a washing machine.
So it's kind of like a big Taramundi,
I don't know what that is.
like
Yeah,
a big,
explain that.
like the piggy banks you put money in.
Oh yeah.
You can't get it out until you smash it up.
Yeah, someone comes out like once a month and will like unload it, and whatever you've paid for the TV, they will take away, but then the rest of it goes into your like savings.
Okay, that's a really interesting concept.
What the fuck was I even talking
I don't know,
about? to get
there's
onto
so-
that?
yeah.
The taxi drivers.
Yeah, that one
There's
guy.
one fella called JF, and it doesn't matter whether you're going from here to the upstairs office or 45 minutes away. He'll charge you a £5.
Fiver just anywhere.
Yeah,
Any
£5.
distance.
Yeah,
That's
you
a
could go
great
from
business.
Singapore.
yeah,
Yeah, £5.
£5.
Yeah,
£5.
£5 a man.
Just JF.
I paid 58 quid for a cab last week. I'm so really upset about it.
58 quid.
To go to Bolton as well.
Really?
Disappointing.
From where?
Bolton, I hate Bolton, by the way. If anyone's listening from Bolton, I absolutely despise Bolton, everything about it. Not the people I was working with, you guys are lovely, just the town. It's one of the few places I've genuinely seen in Britain that's got actual just urban decay in the city centre.
Really?
Like shells of buildings, empty land, in the middle of
In the centre?
Yeah.
Never been.
Yeah. I don't recommend it. I bumped into this American guy who I spoke to at the hotel bar for like 2 hours, who was there on holiday. He's from Florida. He's from Florida.
How do you go from Florida to fucking
You're
Bolton?
on holiday already
Yeah.
in Florida. You don't need to come to
He's
Bolton.
gone to Bolton.
Yeah.
And just surrounded by decay.
What even is there to
Bolton.
do other than
Yeah.
the fucking stadium?
Like pretty much bricks and prostitutes.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. Where is Bolton? Up?
Outside Manny.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you can actually exchange sex for chippy chips there.
Really?
Yeah, I think it is possible. Like they will take payment.
Yeah.
in that form.
That's legal tender.
Yeah. Right, let's get into our next segment then. It is, of course, You're a Ranker. Did you tell Batch about this?
I did indeed.
You did? You prepared?
Yeah.
Cool. Good to go. Okay. Today we're doing classic Batch territory. We thought we'd shape it around
territory.
you. This is
Nice.
This is your bread and butter.
Yeah.
Top 3 unjustified icks. What is your third, Batch?
At number 3.
Yeah.
You want to start with number 3?
We're moving up.
All right. Really small farts.
You'd rather they just commit to like a proper one?
Yeah. You know when it's just like a little...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the worst. I'd rather it was
It's
disgusting.
It's fence sitting, isn't it?
Yeah.
At its finest. It's like either don't fart at all or rip.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually disrespectful.
Hold
It's
it
more
in at that
disrespectful.
point.
Yeah.
It's like-
yeah.
You don't trust me enough to rip a big one. Is that what
Yeah.
you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or that's all they've got.
Which is worse.
Which is worse in my opinion. If that's all they've got, that's all they can muster up.
Yeah.
It's not a good sign of
It's
a
a
potential partner.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. Because you think, where is all the gas then? Where's the rest of it?
Yeah.
Where are you storing it? If it's not.
Or even worse,
It's back over there, Malaysia flight 370 and like
the rest of the
man in
farts.
can, yeah. We just lost it.
It's up there. Yeah. It's like,
Even
Where's
worse
that?
if they think that this small, cute fart is going to get you thinking like, oh, look at that.
yeah, like, oh, that's all they do. That's so cute. No, that's worst.
Because you just know whenever they leave that room, they're letting off
bit
a
like
fucking ripper.
Yeah, ripper.
It's a bit like Switzerland in the Second World War, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah. Choose a side.
choose a side.
Yeah, yeah.
Team.
What are you? Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Aidan, your third?
My number 3 is having an Instagram account for a pet.
Ah,
Yeah.
Nothing really wrong with it. Like,
No.
it's just
annoying.
how do you have the time? And whenever they write the captions from the perspective of the
Yeah.
pet,
Yeah, they give their pet a personality. Yeah.
it says something like, "Oh, me need boobs," or something like that.
Yeah, it does. It will say something like that.
like to give dog boops.
Yeah.
All of
I
that
also,
shit.
on the back of that, I don't like it when people talk to their pets like pets are those animals are as intelligent as humans.
What, like a normal
Yeah.
conversation?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right.
Like, yeah, food, walkies, I get it.
Yeah.
Dogs will get that. But like they talk to them like it's their mate.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I would find
He's just
that
looking
funnier.
back blankly at them.
Yeah.
They're like, you understand me. I just think that's weird.
It is, to be fair.
My number 3 is having a unisex name.
Oh,
So like having a
okay.
name that can be a boy's name as well. It's just
Any examples?
like like Sam, which is my mum's name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I just think, or like Jamie, weird one. Like there are some, you meet some girls called
Blurred
Jamie.
lines. Blurred lines. You
I
don't know what.
it's
My
just,
brother's called Jimmy.
Yeah.
And the amount of shit we give him whenever he was younger, for like, oh, you have a girl's name.
right, yeah.
And now he's getting even more shit.
Yeah.
True.
I don't know, it's just weird with me. It's that now I've said it, it feels like I'm slightly homophobic, but that wasn't the intention.
How homophobic though?
Sorry?
How is it homophobic?
Because I don't like girls having boys' names because then I sound gay. Maybe.
If that's the angle you're coming from, yeah.
I don't know. That wasn't the angle I wrote it down with, but I'm starting to come around.
I'm starting to come around to that angle.
I'm starting to get there. Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird for me. I like girls' names
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Girls for
perfectly
girls.
okay. Yeah.
as the universe intended it to be. That's your number 2.
Okay, my number 2. When they're not good at opening presents. Do you know what? So
What?
As in their reaction or the actual
no, so it's
physical
just they're just really slow and like really struggling to open it. And
I've never met
everyone's sat there just waiting, and they're just there
Yeah.
picking away at it. They can't quite
My family are rippers.
They're
so
trying to be
that's
like
why I
delicate
want-
about it.
We're big
Yeah.
rippers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I
Big
like a
rip
ripper.
style.
I like a
Yeah.
ripper, but they're like peeling at
Jack
the
the Ripper.
With hearts and presents. funny
Yeah,
enough.
so imagine
2 rips in a row.
Imagine,
I can't wait till number 1.
yeah. So imagine they just let off a little, and not that aggressive, and then they're just peeling away at the
Yeah.
seams of a present, trying to open it. 5
They actually
minutes
like
away.
use the sellotape.
Yeah, trying to just
Fuck that.
do the sellotape.
Oh yeah, and they
like
keep
that.
it in like one pristine sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they fold it up, put it to
use
the
it for
side.
next
Yeah.
Christmas.
As if
What
they're
is
going to
wrong with you?
recycle
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Just rip
yeah.
that fucking bitch
I
open.
get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your number 2, Aidan?
My number 2 is, you see whenever women are trying to prove a point and they've got like acrylic nails on and they're either slapping them together or like banging them off a desk.
Yeah.
It does my tits in.
I think the is the sound tapping on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I just don't like that sound. But also, Mr. Krabs impression, great.
do they do that?
I don't know, but like
It's basically
someone
the
with
same
big nails,
thing.
I always look at that and I go, Mr. Krabs.
They'll always,
Oh, it just reminds me of applause.
That cheers you right up.
Yeah.
they'll always say in like 3 points, whatever it is, but they'll be like, duh, duh, duh. And they
Okay,
think
yeah.
that helps prove their point.
And then
Yeah.
I'm just thinking money.
Yeah.
But I do kind of think if I had nails, I'd do the same thing.
Yeah. Do you think
know
it
what
would
I mean?
help get your point across?
I think it would
though?
empower me. Yeah, doing that. You are.
I
know
think
what I
we
mean?
still know you're talking shit. And not only are you talking shit, but now you're annoying me with the
Yeah,
sound
you
making
don't
too.
have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, my number 2 is girls who do kickboxing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And honestly, it extends to pretty much anyone who does kickboxing. But for me, this would be a bit of an ick if I met a girl and she did kickboxing. Because like you see people in the gym doing kickboxing while you're doing a normal workout. And it's like, just calm down.
Relax.
Why are you so angry?
Is it an insecurity that you don't want your girlfriend to be able to kick the fuck out of you?
No, that's fine.
You're
don't
into
do,
that?
Just don't do kickboxing.
Right.
Yeah,
Is it-
beat me up. Yeah.
Are other martial arts okay? Just kickboxing is not the one.
I don't know. There's something about doing kickboxing when everyone else is not doing kickboxing in the gym. You know, there's like everyone else is just having a cycle, having a walk,
Yeah.
doing some weights, and there's one person going, ah,
Yeah.
in the back. That really sort of
There's a lot of my
it just creeps me out.
yeah. There's a lot of my gym that in between sets you like shadow box in front
Yeah,
of the mirror.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Shadowbox.
I couldn't have a girlfriend who shadow boxes.
Shadowbox.
That's just not on.
No.
That's your number 1.
My number 1 is when they wear a blazer casually. Have you seen that before? They'll be going out and they've just got
like a pair of shorts.
They'll be wearing shorts. They'll be wearing like normal,
Shorts
and
and a
they've just
blazer.
got a blazer.
I've
and it's
seen
really
that before.
big.
Yeah.
That's funny because I sort of imagine you are going out and about in a blazer.
Well, I've got
Yeah,
one right
you-
here.
you do
actually.
have one
But
right-
that's what I mean. If they would
Whack,
just like
whack the blazer on. Show
they
us what you
just
mean.
they've always just got like quite a lot. It's always quite big as
It's
well.
way too big.
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah,
just in a blazer.
Yeah.
Do you know? Have you seen? You've
You
seen
sort
that?
of
I've
pull
seen
out,
this, yeah.
You sort of get your point across quite well there, because that is way too big for you, and it does look ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm talking about
Yeah.
right now. But it does. It also, even on men, it's kind of weird when you're wearing a blazer casually.
Yeah.
I'm,
Or whenever
I'm
people
so guilty of that. I've done it a few times.
have you?
Sometimes I come to the office wearing a blazer.
Just with a blazer on.
You did used to do that at the start, actually.
Yeah. I still do it, just not recently.
The worst part of that is whenever people refer to it as a sports coat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's a fucking blazer.
yeah. Sports guy. Is that American?
It
Sports
might
guy?
be, but I've heard someone over here whenever I moved to London
I
using
don't
it.
know how it makes any sense anyway. Because where do sports?
Yeah, you're not going to go to fucking five-a-side in a
No,
blazer.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're number 1, Aidan.
My number one is women who attend Rufus Rice meet and greets.
Mate, what a fact. That is spitting fact.
I don't really need to go into any details. Like,
No.
it speaks for itself.
So, You know how a lot of people say, "Oh, I have the best audience."
Yeah.
I don't say that.
You don't just outright.
Because,
Don't
and I'm
do
going
it.
to say this. I'm going to address it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'm really enjoying. Your support is great. You've built me a career, and I'm thankful for that. But also, there is a subsection of my fans who are the worst people, and they come up to me and like quote videos that I made 2 years ago to me, and like expect that to be my exact personality in real life.
Right. Okay.
Like they don't think it's a joke. They don't think there's any irony in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And when they're girls, that is doubly so.
Doubly so.
Yeah.
Doubly.
Do you have a worst like altercation with a female fan in one of these meet and greets?
I just had someone who was like way too keen.
What about like they want to pursue you, or they're just being a
I'm not
fan
sure.
too?
Yeah,
keen as a
yeah.
fan?
I had to get the bouncer between us. I think
Really?
she could have been able to beat me up as well.
Really?
Yeah.
She was a kickboxer.
She might have been a kickboxer.
You'd be in trouble there.
Yeah, that's a double whammy. On
Yeah.
my books, that is 2 strikes there.
2 strikes.
You're a fan of me and you're a kickboxer. Also, like, I've just been on a few dates with girls who are fans, and they expect way too much. I think
Right.
they like the idea of dating you much more than the reality,
Yeah.
because they've seen your stuff and they're like, oh, he's so funny, he's so hilarious all the time. But obviously, they don't see the days where you don't do that. Instead, you have like 40 wanks.
That's a lot. I think that would kill you.
Yeah,
I think 40 wanks would kill you.
it's not my record.
What
What's
is
your record?
Less.
How many less?
I'd assume it would be less.
It's got to be less than 10. I would have thought.
Upwards of 10 is still a lot. Really, it's just dust after 5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dust and blood.
Smoke.
Dust and blood.
It was like it's like a sort of one of those magic
Disappearing
things.
act.
Yeah, disappearing act. Yeah. My number one unjustified ick is right. Let's move on to our next round then. It's questionable. This is our audience interaction segment where we ask you a juicy question and go over your best responses. We asked you today, what's the worst date you've ever been on? First one, he mentioned offhand that he didn't believe in democracy or elections. I pushed for an answer and he said he wanted to revert to an absolute monarchy. For context, I work for the parliament.
They just wants to go back to an absolute monarchy.
Yeah, I don't mind it as long as you're the king.
Yeah, you'd have to be the king to
Yeah, you'd wanna
like
be.
that.
The ultimate like absolute monarchy for me, like my top absolute monarchy.
Yeah.
It's not really a monarchy, but in practice it was, because I think Chairman Mao is like one of the goats of this discussion, because he had a car when everybody else had a cow.
Right.
So like the discrepancy there, if you're a despot dictator, you want to put as much distance between you as the unwashed masses as possible. Like he's the goat of that. He's the only person in China.
I don't even know who this guy is.
Chairman Mao.
Don't even know who that is.
Come on.
Don't even know.
I've heard a lot about him since I started this podcast.
I feel like he's probably
He's one of Rufus's
do know
heroes.
heroes. Yeah.
You do know who Chairman Mao is?
I don't think that's general knowledge.
What? Knowing who Chairman Mao is?
Yeah.
I would say in your group of friends, the circle you run in, it probably is.
What's it? What are you even saying? Chairman Mao.
Chairman Mao.
So he's a chairman.
You've never heard of Chairman Mao?
Never. Chairman Mao.
He's like one of the most important historical figures of the last 100 years.
What did he do? Where from?
He was like the 5-year plan, the great step forward. He's the head of China. He killed over 100 million of his own people.
That footnote is about all I knew.
Killed 100 million.
He
of
was
his
the
own
leader
people.
of communist China before they became slightly open to the world.
And that's the monarchy you would go back to.
No, I'm just saying, like, he's the goat
Of what?
of monarchies.
He definitely
Of
has the best,
monarchy.
like, KD ratio
I don't want to
amongst
bring
them.
him back, but
Was
like,
it-
I have nostalgia for the glory days.
Was he a dictator?
Oh, fully. Yeah.
So would you prefer a dictatorship?
if
would you
if
wanna
I'm-
be a dictator?
If I'm the dictator.
Would you?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, bro.
Really?
Imagine you're the only person with a car and
You
everyone
would
else
get
has a cow.
Yeah, but you would get shot, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
As a dictator,
Yeah,
You're
you
getting
ever
assassinated.
Live fast, die young. I'll enjoy it while it lasts.
Fair,
Yeah. Right, next one. Everything was going well. We started showing each other our music taste, and she had a 1-year anniversary playlist with her boyfriend in
Oh
Spotify.
my god!
me.
What's it? They were still together, or that she just had the playlist left over?
Either way, it's bad. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 year, and what? Why would you have a playlist for it?
Are you a playlist maker?
No, never made a playlist ever.
I've made a playlist.
I've made a karaoke playlist actually.
I'm a playlist aficionado,
Oh, really?
and I'm in between that first date. If it was fireworks and that second date, the playlist is getting curated,
You're joking.
and then I'm bringing it out as a move.
Okay, but how do you this is where I struggle with the playlist. How do you put things into different, like, how do you decide this goes in this playlist but not that one? or it can go.
I get
with
what
that
you
one
mean.
And that one.
And do you know how sometimes people create a playlist with the words of the songs making a sentence? Is that what you do, or is it just
No. I'm a vibe technician. Is
Yeah.
how I would describe my job.
Yeah. So
Vibe
how do you
technician?
decide this one fits this vibe?
Because I listen to
kind
it
of-
and I'm
but
like, it's got these emotions.
But what if it kind of fits another vibe? And you're like, oh, it's kind of, I could put it in there.
Well, you can't have the same song in two playlists?
It is.
Yeah, but then
it's not one.
But then if you put that in, then the vibe changes slightly, and then you're like, oh, now this one fits the vibe.
Yeah, but that's why you've also got to be a real-time technician, as in then you got to get whilst it's playing, because you got the sex playlist stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, sweater weather's not right for this moment.
Yeah.
It's actually quite hard.
That's
It's
got to
not
get removed.
Too cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too cold.
So you're like, I think "Lust for Life," Lana Del Rey in The Weekend would probably be better. Than
Yeah.
This one. So while I'm having a piss, I'm surreptitiously sorting through that queue,
Changing it slightly.
moving it in and out. I'm a micromanager of the playlist.
It's a lot of work. That's why I
it's a
don't
lot
do
of
it.
work. Yeah, absolutely.
So much work.
Next one, he sharted in the cinema, but never acknowledged it.
Didn't acknowledge
He
it.
sat in his own shart the whole time.
Yeah.
How did they know that he shot? How did they know it was a full shot?
I think it's hard to hide.
If a fart will linger for a few minutes,
Yeah,
but if
but
it stays for the
sharks,
duration of the film, that's
You never
probably
forget a
shark territory.
Yeah, and the sound gives it away as well.
Yeah.
There's any kind of moisture there.
I was thinking about what if Shark Week was Shark Week? I know that's so stupid, but
I love how that I thought, just thinking, what if instead of Shark Week? Yeah, hear me out. Instead of Shark Week,
well, I
Shark
really
Week.
enjoyed Shark Week as a kid. Okay, you both are looking
I just know it from Step Brothers.
Yeah, same. It's such an American thing, Shark Week.
from
yeah.
Nat Geo, I think, or something.
I
Discovery.
didn't have
or something.
Sky.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it was great, but Shark Week would be great.
Shark Week would be
Shark
way
Week.
better.
Just reviewing
Way
men's
better.
sharts.
Yeah, yeah. Would it be a similar thing like with watching sharts, or everyone is sharting in that week? Like it's okay to do it.
Sharknado.
It's like Shard Awareness Week.
Sharknado. You should have just done movie titles with a shark in it.
Sharknado is
I
hilarious.
should have told you to prep some shark.
Yeah, you should
puns.
have done that.
Yeah, did you not get the document with all the shark jokes? We'd been on a group night out the night before and had been snogging in the bar. The next day, he invited me over to, quote, watch a film and order a pizza, chill, and get over the hangover. Sounds nice. When I arrived, his whole family was sat around the dining table with 2 empty seats for us. He sat me down wearing a tracksuit and feeling like death. And introduced me as his girlfriend. His grandma then invited me to Florida for her 80th, and her little sister was begging me to braid her hair. He sat there smugly smiling at me with his hand on the back of my chair, and I just wanted to cry. I barely knew him.
Oh my
That's
god,
insane.
Yeah.
that's like
This is like something that would happen in your village.
Something slightly similar happened to me whenever I was in like first year of uni, where I had met a
Was
girl.
this in the cougar years?
No.
This guy was a cougar hunter, by the way.
you had a cougar.
Unofficially.
Yeah.
Unofficially.
Allegedly, I should say.
Allegedly, yeah. But a lot of evidence is
I had met like a girl very briefly a couple of nights before, and nothing happened. We just got on pretty well, and then we met up like maybe 3 or 4 days later, and I was like, right, we get a bite to eat or something.
Did you derf?
I didn't derf. There was no derf in it at all.
surfing,
Not on the
nothing.
cards for a second. But I was talking about what we're going to do for food and stuff. Then she was like, yeah, I've got something planned. And I was thinking, are we going to a restaurant or something? And we suddenly got let more and more out of the city, and we just ended up at her front door. And she had dinner with her parents planned without telling me. And I had met her once.
Spag bowl.
I was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck
what was
is
it?
going on?
What was it?
Spag bowl?
I can't even remember.
I don't think
honestly.
they have spag bowl over there.
There is. We got it like a couple of years ago.
It just came in
Yeah.
Like
a couple years
Ireland
ago.
DLC.
Lasagna just dropped.
Whenever you lads got Warzone, we got Spag Ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was fucking mortified. I was like, what? Introduced me
Did
to
you
her
sit
dad
down for
before
the
I
full
even-
meal?
I sat down, and her dad came in from mowing the lawn and like shook my hand and introduced himself. And I was
I'd be
like,
so comfortable in that situation.
I
I'd be chatting up the dad,
Really?
trying to get on his good side.
yeah, but I
No,
didn't
it's
even
great.
know what my intentions were. I didn't even know how well I got on with the woman yet. Do you know what I mean? I'd met her once,
Yeah.
so that was fucking ridiculous.
Next, I was with the guy that owns Brewdog, and I left upset after the date. Apparently, have you heard about the guy who owns Brewdog? Like,
Apparently not a
he's
great guy,
just
right?
A real dick.
Yeah.
Or something.
I saw a story that he just stopped paying everyone's stuff.
Oh
Yeah, but apparently he's also a dick in this context as well.
Okay.
So she left upset, and she hadn't noticed, but he'd stuffed 700 quid in her bag, which was confusing. But apparently he just does that on loads of dates.
Just that's such a specific number. As
It
well.
reminds me, it's a little bit of a Paul Mescal style power move. As in, like, he takes them for a run and then he just runs away.
Yeah.
Um,
Great move.
but he's like, here's the money. I know the date was
700
shit, but here's the money.
700 quid.
Yeah.
Just such a bizarre amount to
The
slip.
BBC then got in touch wanting to talk to me about my experiences because the guy was that bad.
What, he was really that bad? Did they give any
Apparently he's like
details?
an evil guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you think the 700 to keep quiet, or 700 just because I can do it?
Is he
That's
treating
my
them as
thing
like a
now.
prostitute?
Power move?
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
hoping that they...
Yeah, the
Yeah,
old...
maybe.
Maybe we should make that a game on one episode, prostitute or power move.
That'll go down the street, I think.
Do you think, Rufus, that with your cardio, if you were to pull a Paul Mescal, you'd be able to outrun the date?
Mate, yeah, I was saying about this earlier, like, so I'm like generationally slow runner.
Generationally
So, like,
slow.
in the 100 meters, I'm like way slower than you think I am.
Really?
Like, even think about someone who's slow, I'm going to be slower than that. So
Why
like,
is that?
I don't know, I think it's just bad sort of, I'm just built wrong. My legs are too long, my torso is too short, my hamstrings are too tight.
I think if I was a girl, that would be the ultimate ick if you're slow.
Yeah. So like, from year 8 onwards, I was routinely beaten by most girls in the 100 meters. That's how slow I am.
You just-
I never run. Nobody has ever seen me run, but I am like objectively terrible.
I miss the days where how fast you were dictated how many
I
bitches
don't.
you
yeah,
got.
how attractive you were. Oh
No-
my God, you were
no
down
chance.
tremendous.
No
yeah.
chance.
Yeah.
That was terrible for you.
Yeah.
Would you just woo them with your charm and intelligence, or how'd that
No,
go?
me. Still don't.
Had nothing.
No, I had nothing going for me. That's why I started TikTok. I was that guy first.
Yeah.
Next one, I went on a date with a girl who had, you know, when you get drunk driving charge and you have one of those machines to start your car, you have to blow into.
Right, yeah.
She got so drunk, so she used a leaf blower to start her car and drove home.
Oh my God, and it
Genius.
worked. It worked.
Apparently,
That is,
it's just funny though.
A huge flaw in that system, though.
Yeah.
massive. All they need is breath. Surely anyone else could just blow into it and you just drive as well.
Yeah, it's not a perfect system.
Or fart into it if it's hard enough.
Can you imagine you blowing into your friend's like fucking breathalyzer?
Just-
both of you drunk, but like, oh, no, you're fine. You can drive us home.
First date, we met in his house that was in the middle of being renovated. It was a room with no roof and two walls and a sofa.
That's not a room.
It's a set.
Yeah, that's a set.
He called his sofa the lady pleaser.
The sofa is the lady
The
pleaser.
sofa is the lady pleaser. He said he was taking me out to dinner, but he ordered Maggers. He then proceeded to make out with me, and I was like, fuck it, I might as well just make the most of this. He was so drunk, he couldn't keep it up, so we just sat both naked with him desperately trying to get hard for like 2 hours watching South Park. I got up to go, and he asked me to stand in front of him so he could nut to the side of me, so he didn't get blue balls.
So not to the side of me.
Yeah. It also says at the end, shout out Hugo.
Just name drop as well. I'm really confused by the room that they're in. Just
No roof, two
walls and a sofa.
one sofa and a TV.
and a TV, yeah.
So maybe back wall, front wall.
No, so it's like that. Those are
Yeah,
open.
the
But what's
sides
the
are
sides? Is it just like a garden?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
And no
so.
roof.
No roof.
What if it rained?
And they're just in there naked.
It's a building site.
yeah, it's not a place.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, nightmare.
Last one. I took this Lenger to see Oppenheimer. Nothing naughty happened during the sex scene or anything, but when the bomb was dropped, she turned to me and whispered, "I hope you hit me that hard." After finding out how high her expectations was, I had to give up on pursuing her as I genuinely wasn't able to satisfy them.
That is quite high. Their expectations are through the roof there.
I respect his self-awareness, though.
Yeah, true.
He was able to stop
I
that.
think
before.
that's funny from her. Like, I don't actually think.
Yeah, no, there's nothing
bad
wrong with
things,
that, no.
but
No, I think that's quite a bold move to take them to see Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 hours of silence.
Yeah.
Barbie was on at the time. Like,
Yeah, there's an
could have gone for that.
something
Barbie's
more
also like 2.5 hours long.
Mate, when I was 14, I took this girl to the cinema. Might have told this story.
Don't know.
Took this girl to the cinema first date,
fun.
and there were a couple of films on. Didn't know what either of them was. So I was like, I'm a grown up. Let's watch the more adult one that we can
Okay.
get into. Right? We ended up sitting through 2 hours about the Holocaust.
Oh my God. At 14 as well.
Yeah.
That's a heavy watch.
It didn't last. I actually quite enjoyed that film.
What was it? Do you remember what it was?
It was a serious war drama. about the Holocaust.
Did you decide as you turned up? You were like,
Yeah,
oh,
I hadn't
check
heard
that
of either of the films. One of them was like a kids film, and the other one was like an adult's film. I'm just like,
It's
I'm
like
gonna show.
trying to
I'm
impress.
young, and it was a war drama, but
I take it didn't work. Didn't.
didn't work. But I really enjoyed that film.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yes. Wow. Okay. Big news, guys. Just had some news in. That's this.
Is that what this
That's
is?
what this segment is.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, just had some breaking news in down the wire from our sex and health correspondent, Lewis Clitt in London.
It was clear.
He's everyone's favourite solicitor.
It's insane.
This is today's news. Today, of course, being the 4th of November, 1960. The Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Association has officially approved mestranol noradrenal for use in treatments. This chemical, brand name Enovid, is officially the first ever contraceptive pill approved for release on the open market.
Oh my god.
Big news, everybody.
Big day.
For the raw doggers out there, this is huge news.
Oh my god, I forgot where the year. I can't believe it.
1960.
I forget, sorry.
Big time. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
So the era
Yeah.
of the podcast. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the format.
Yeah. Oh, that's what this is.
But this is sad to see the end of my patented thumb stopper method. You know, when you're trying to like see if the water's coming out the hose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
exactly.
doing.
That's what you're doing.
That's what I was doing. I won't have to do that anymore.
Does it just go back in then?
Yeah. I just send it back up. It's just the same one every time. I just send it back.
No wonder you're getting blue balls all the time.
Yeah. No, there's a real
They're just
backlog.
growing. Yeah, they're just growing.
And also the classic pull and pray, which is my favourite.
Spray and pray type job.
Yeah. So do that. A couple of Hail Marys and hopefully
Hail Mary, scream as you're doing it.
couple of Hail Marys and hopefully you won't get pregnant. But we won't have to
No
worry
need.
about that anymore. But it is sad to see the downfall of, obviously, when we were teenagers in World War II, we obviously had vaginal jelly, suppositories, foaming tablets, and of course douching with bleach.
Yeah.
Which was
Personal favourite.
personal favourite, yeah. Which apparently has some health concerns
That'd be fine.
associated with that,
Yeah.
which I think is woke. It's health and
Yeah,
safety
so
gone
woke.
mad, mate. It is-
Douching with bleach.
It's woke agenda. The problem with this pill, because we might have to go back to the bleach, is that it may come with a few side effects. If there are any women listening, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. It's only blood clots, pulmonary embolism, thrombosis, stroke, and myocardial infarction. So it seems pretty safe to me.
Okay,
None of them sound that serious.
No,
yeah.
I don't even know what thrombosis is.
No, but it sounds bad.
What is
Thrombosis.
deep vein thrombosis,
Thrombo-
right?
It sounds like an instrument.
Robbing.
It sounds like blue balls, like thrombosis.
Thrombosis. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
They get
Yeah.
blue balls.
Also, I think the full name of it is deep vein thrombosis.
Deep vein as well.
So, like, it's in there some. I think heroin addicts get thrombosis
Deep in their veins.
because if you fill your veins up with stuff, like
Oh, you're going to get thrombosis.
you're
It's
gonna
going to
get,
be thrombin.
it's gonna be thrombing
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, you're going to be thrommed.
Also, I predict this to put an end to the record high vasectomy profiteering in the private sector of the USA
Yeah.
medical sector. What's your stance on the vasectomy?
The vasectomy in general.
Yeah, fan, pro, for?
On what? Because men and women, right? You could do both.
No. You
You
can't
could do both. Is it taking a uterus out of vasectomy?
No.
Is it cutting the tubes?
It's only for men.
There's a different term of it
Only-
for women, isn't there?
So it's the cutting of the tubes or the tying of the, because you can tie them.
I think women.
No.
get
They do.
tubes-
That's
tubes
farming.
tied.
They do that to sheep. You know about it.
No, not that.
They castrate a sheep. by
Yeah,
tying a
yeah,
rubber
yeah.
band
No,
around
I
the box.
know that. Yeah, but you can now get your tubes tied and untied. In the future, you can do that.
Right.
Yeah, in like 45 years.
Yeah, in 45 years or so.
I think this is a snip job.
A snip job. Hey, if you want to get vasectomy, get a vasectomy.
I think once you've had enough kids, it's very smart.
Does this new pill work on men?
We don't know. Apparently, it gives you tits.
Ask Lewis Clear.
Apparently, it gives you a great rack.
Okay, so it gives you a rack, and you might still be and you could be infertile.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But I don't know. They haven't tested it on men.
Mm.
It's like, that would be like giving a condom to a woman, and it's like, what do you even do with this?
Just cram it in, probably. I don't know.
They do have that.
Yeah, they do have that.
Those do
Yeah.
exist.
Mm.
Dental dome.
No, I think that's something else.
That's for oral.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, no.
Yeah. I was thinking, why would you put...
This conversation from such a place of ignorance. I have no idea what I'm on about.
Dental dams for
Talking
oral.
about my arse
Yeah.
for the last 10
I was thinking,
minutes.
you don't put anything dental down there.
Yeah, I was gonna say all I heard was dental. I was like,
That doesn't
Surely
sound...
Apparently,
not.
dentists can see if you've sucked a lot of knob.
Yeah.
It,
Something to do
it
with...
bruises the back of your mouth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And apparently they can
That's a
also
fact.
tell whether if you've been... I don't want to say it, it's so vulgar.
go ahead.
But they can tell by your facial hair if you've been...
Oh,
Munching box, I believe, is
That's
the
a good term
scientific
for it, yeah.
yeah, that's what they say at the dentists.
Yeah.
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 They give you the knowing look.
Yeah.
You've been munching a lot of old box, given your your sort of situation.
They don't do that to me, they just fist bump me.
You're going great.
That's all they do as soon as you arrive.
Do you know at the time of recording, condoms are illegal in Ireland?
Illegal.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, yeah, well, being gay was illegal in Ireland until at least 59 years after this story.
Yeah, around that.
So, why were condoms illegal? Because
I don't know. Sexual immorality.
sainted, right? So, like, you can't stop having.
Oh,
I think my theory
makes
is that they're
sense.
trying to regenerate the population since the famine.
right.
That is
but-
interesting, actually, that the population of Ireland peaked before the famine, and it
still hasn't
hasn't recovered back to.
Oh,
what it-
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
genuinely, it's one of those places with actual full decline.
I think there's like 4 million dead or else emigrated.
I think
God.
the population of Ireland 5 million.
Yeah, it's like 6 all in the whole Ireland. 6.5,
Yeah,
7.
but it used to be like 9 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
In the
just-
1800s, and then they all became insufferable Americans, unfortunately,
Yeah, now they're Irish American.
after the potato famine.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Anyway, on that bombshell, we'd like to end it there. Thank you to Batch for coming in,
Thanks for having me, guys.
and can I say that cardigan looks sexy?
It's not a cardigan.
Not a cardigan. I'll take the compliment.
In what world is that not a cardigan?
How is it a
Doesn't
cardigan?
zip.
Is that a
Cardigans
requirement?
need buttons or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I
That's
genuinely had no
That's a
idea.
jumper to me, or a sweater, as you
it's a
fuckers probably call it.
sweatshirt.
Yeah.
My internship at Vogue is going to go so badly.
I can't believe.
Is there anything you want to plug, by the way?
Yeah.
No, I've got my own podcast. I've got YouTube.
Yes.
Just go search ItalianBach.
Yeah.
Follow me. That's it.
Lovely stuff.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank
Nothing
you,
to
guys.
sell. We've sold a lot.
Nothing.
We've sold a lot of shit on this show.
We flung some Portuguese cookware
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Have you heard about
Willie.
this? Willie, yeah.
Yeah. That looks nice though. That stuff.
That
think
stuff is nice. I took some home for my mum.
Nice.
His appearance on this podcast to try and promote it just cost him money because he definitely didn't sell any and he lost some to your mum.
Yeah, that's so true. Because my audience are not typical crockery buyers.
That surprises me actually.
So if there are any sort of first year uni students who want to spend 32 quid on a plate, like,
Yeah.
be my guest.
Go do that now. Is he a sponsor of the show or something? Just ongoing thing. Every year, try and sell them.
We've asked you if you want to sell something, but not selling Willie's
let's
plate.
sell Willie's plates. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you once again next week. And back to you in the studio.